Quito sits at nearly 9,000 feet in the highlands of the Andes Mountains in Ecuador. Nearby is the Equator. Ecuador is Spanish for equator. We were met by our tour leader Luis at the airport and taken to our hotel in Quito. After settling into our rooms, our group had dinner in the hotel restaurant and then a briefing from Luis.
My dear friends, once again very welcome to my country. Very welcome to Ecuador. You know it was a little bit bigger. On this side we have Colombia, and this side Peru. And here we have Galápagos, 4 natural regions, the Andes, the jungle, the coast. Remember what I was telling you before? Yep. 4 natural regions. Here is Quito, on the north side of Ecuador. See? Quito is the capital. Quito. I was saying the most beautiful city is in the Andes, but it's on the south side of the Andes. Cuenca. Cuenca.
Is that where everybody retires?
Yes. Yeah. And here is Guayaquil.
The gringos.
Guayaquil, that is in the coast of Ecuador. The largest city in Ecuador is Guayaquil then. And Galápagos was a wonderful compliment.
After breakfast on our first morning in Ecuador, we were greeted by a local Quito guide.
Buenos días. Good morning. Welcome to my beautiful city, Quito. I am Quiteña. See, I was born in this beautiful city that is the capital of Ecuador. Quito has a population of approximately 2.5 million people living in Quito. And in all the country, in all Ecuador, we have 14 million of people. Our currency here in Ecuador is the American dollar. So today during the tour, see, because I'm gonna be with you just today, so I have just today to tell you as much as I can about everything. So I'm gonna be telling you why we have the American dollar like our currency for more than 12 years. Also, let me tell you that Ecuador, we are a small country, but we have 4 different regions. This is the highlands, high altitude.
We drove from Quito for 15 miles. We could see a bit of the Andes beyond the road. Our first stop was at a very unique place, the monument to the middle of the world. Here you can stand with 1 foot in each hemisphere. We passed a sign showing 0 degrees of latitude and walked down to a red line marked on the ground. Folks from our group definitely wanted a photograph. Jackie and Jerry from Minnesota took a turn. So did Helga and Gunter from Connecticut. Kumar and Roberta from Oregon also posed for our camera. Then we took a turn, kissing across the equator at 0 latitude. As hummingbirds clicked above us, a local guide demonstrated the Earth's vortex.
Okay, ready? Ready? Everybody pay attention on top. 1, 2, y 3. So here, because of the line in the middle of the world, no rotation, no swirl. Just straight down. Now, let's go to the south side of the line. 1, 2, 3. Counterclockwise.
Next, we tried to walk the equator, staying on the narrow red mark dividing the hemispheres.
Either side of the world. Okay?
Hari tried first. Susie went over to make her attempt.
See, walk the line. Eyes closed, head up, arms straight out. Yes, eyes closed. The idea is don't see the line.
Then Lokesh did his best.
Maybe you have Maybe you have heard when people get lost.
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes.
Finally, Van took his turn. Afterwards, several of us attempted to balance an egg on the head of a nail. A couple of us actually succeeded. It worked, supposedly because the Earth rotates faster at the equator than it does at the poles. The whole time, hummingbirds clicked above us. We tried to capture a picture of a hummingbird with a very long tail feeding on a prickly pear cactus. You need special equipment to get a good shot of these tiny creatures in mid-flight.
So we're gonna go for lunch. You're gonna have, for everybody, we're gonna have humita. The humita for appetizer. That this is a delicious corn cake that has cheese inside and some little onions. And then for main course, for the ones that are not vegetarian, you're gonna have a goat stew that is really good, comes with rice and some avocado. Okay, so in a few moments we're gonna be arriving to the restaurant. Here at the old city of Quito is really difficult to find a parking because all the old city of Quito was built by the Spaniards. They started construction in 1534, see, and they made the streets really narrow. So that is why, please, I recommend you start to prepare yourself because as soon we stop the bus, we have to leave the bus quickly.
Our tour bus dropped us off at the main plaza in Quito. The area is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. On the paved courtyard, we got information about this former Spanish colony.
Okay, let me tell you that right now we are at the colonial part of the city of Quito. See? The colonial part of the city of Quito is considered the biggest colonial park in all America. 300 acres of colonial buildings, and you can see that most of them, they are in really good preserve. They were built by the Spaniards during the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries. Most of the houses, they have the style from Andalusia, Spain. That is why you can see the beautiful balconies. And inside all the houses, they have beautiful courtyards inside with fountains, with trees, with flowers, really beautiful. Let me tell you that this is a really commercial park in Quito. See, when you want to save some money and do a cheap shopping, you come here because really here they have really good prices. All the first floor of all the houses are commercial businesses. And on the second floor, they have people that they live inside. Let me tell you that this is not a nice place to live because too much traffic, pollution, buses, it's a nice place to come, to have fun, restaurant, but not to live. That is why to live here is really cheap, really, really cheap. Probably you find an apartment in $120 here, really cheap, okay? Right now we're gonna continue walking that way. Please follow me, okay?
we'd walk through Quito to another beautiful plaza. This one celebrated the independence of Ecuador from Spain, declared August 10th, 1809. There's a large monument to commemorate this historical achievement. Condors grace Ecuador's flag as well as this monument. The Andean condor is the largest flying land bird in the Western Hemisphere. We walked on through the plaza and under some of the beautiful iron balconies that adorn the buildings in the plaza. Back on the bus, we drove past Quito's Catholic Cathedral, then many wires signifying we were out of the old colonial city center. Our destination was in a busy commercial area where bicycles were available as well as sidewalk cafes. Just like in most places we visited, there were groups of men gathered for companionship. We tried to get some American dollars, but the first automatic teller machine rejected us. We were successful with the next one, and out popped American greenbacks. We were in a large handicraft market called La Mariscal. It's a tourist place just a few blocks from our hotel, so our group could shop or find another activity during our free time. We decided to take a peek down the long covered aisles stacked with colorful items. We saw some of our group looking at purses. Then I found a Panama hat. They actually originated in Ecuador, not in Panama. Linda found some shoes made from brightly striped serape fabric. She made sure they fit her feet. And then I paid with American dollars I'd just gotten from the ATM. Later that evening, we went for a home-hosted meal with a local family.
Okay, first, welcome to Ecuador. Welcome to our home. Really is a pleasure for us to come in today, and we hope you enjoy with the dinner and with our company. I am Tatiana. I am 31 years old. I am a housewife, and I work for a Spanish school, like host family or exchange. We receive exchange students. My daughter Valentina, she's 11 years old. She's in 6th grade. She likes roller skate, bicycle, swimming. What else? Nothing. Watching TV. And my husband David is a little late. I'm sorry, but he is accounting. He works in an international company, import and export. That's all. This is my small family.
Tired.
Go rest. Go rest.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Anna.
David?
Man. We looked at some of the family pictures while preparations were made for our dinner in the small, efficient kitchen. Tatiana's mother helped with the preparation of the food. It was the middle of November, and the Christmas decorations were already up. The table was set with festive appointments. David and Valentina invited us to go to the dinner table. Charming napkin rings greeted us, and then we began our meal with vegetable broth with greens. We had chicken, fried bananas, avocado, and rice, along with fruit juice for our beverage. For our dessert, we were given a fried Christmas-time pastry.
And this is a sweet? No, sweet. Honey?
Connie.
Honey?
Okay.
So please, continue.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
This your mother made.
Yeah, my mother prepared that.
We loved this beautiful Ecuadorian family and their warm hospitality.
The following morning, we were up early to catch a plane. We were excited because we were going to the Galápagos Islands. We checked in, walked across the tarmac to our plane, and then climbed the ramp to go for a 2-hour flight. Rising above the city of Quito, we flew west out toward the Pacific Ocean. We could see snow-covered volcanoes, reminding us that the Galápagos are the result of volcanic activity, creating islands that rose up out of the seafloor between 3 and 5 million years ago. Our plane landed on the island that's closest to the mainland, San Cristobal.
That is our boat. You see the one that is very close here? That is our boat. That is Karina. Karina boat is the name of this boat. San Cristobal Island, Vaquerizo Moreno Port is the name of this place where we are now. This is the capital of the Galápagos. Remember, Galápagos is a province. It's a province from Ecuador. And this is the capital of the province.
A UNESCO World Heritage Site, the majority of the Galápagos Islands are a national park, surrounded by a marine reserve. A popular tourist destination, strict rules exist to protect this unique and wild ecosystem. Karina pulled away from the port while our tour group of 15 settled into one of 8 cabins. Our crew made us feel welcome with their fun towel folding. We later gathered in the main lounge where we had our first meal on board our new floating home. We were served buffet style on the main deck of our 95-foot-long boat.
We're located about 600 nautical miles from the coast of Ecuador, almost on the equator. Here is the equator. Most of the islands are on the south. A group of 13 big islands, 17 small islets, and more than 45 reefs or rocks. Thus make a total land area of about maybe 8,000 square kilometers in area. Remember, Galápagos is considered one of the most active volcanic centers on Earth. Darwin visited the Galápagos and he landed on San Cristobal for the first time. And he is the responsible for the islands to be this famous. Different size, different age, different geological culture, and of course maybe different ecosystems. Remember the living laboratory. There are some animals that can be found only in the Galápagos then. Unique animals, because conditions are different here. My friends, and here we are then in Galápagos.
After our amazing snorkeling with sea turtles, we gathered again in the main cabin for an official welcome by our 9-member crew.
I would like to welcome you to this boat and to this paradise called Galápagos. We have prepared a wonderful trip for your enjoyment, and we hope that you enjoy this trip on board this boat and you leave the Galápagos with the best memories ever. To tell everybody wherever you go how wonderful was your experience in the Galápagos on board this boat, your boat, the Carina boat with this wonderful crew member. So salute for a wonderful trip.
Salud.
We had a warm welcome and a couple of drinks and then had dinner of abundant fresh vegetables, fruit, chicken, and fish. The chef ladled out a hearty soup and we all settled down for our first night on board Carina.
It was once again sunny and bright when we woke the next morning. We divided into 2 groups and boarded the Pangas for an exciting ride to a small island off the coast of San Cristobal. Its name reveals one animal that thrives on this island. A cement walkway had been created to help with landings. Luis clapped his hands to assist in clearing some sea lions. They're the most common native mammal in the Galapagos, and this was a sea lion rookery. Families with several small babies had been sunning on the walkway. The parents were not happy to be briefly separated from their pups.
Very little babies.
And wait for me out there, please.
On the shore were several Sally Lightfoot crabs, bright orange against the deep black lava stones. To our delight, there was also a Blue Footed Boobie, seemingly oblivious to our being so near. Then we saw there were several black marine iguanas. The marine iguana and Blue Footed Boobie are 2 of the unique species to the Galapagos. The marine iguana is the only lizard in the world with the ability to live and forage at sea. They often gather in groups to conserve body heat. They look fierce, but are actually gentle herbivores. The precious sea lion pups were the real stars of this island. A cow will nurture her pup for up to 3 years. In that time, both will recognize each other's bark. Within the rookery, pups can be seen together napping, playing, and feeding. It's common to see one cow caring for a group of pups while other cows go off to feed. One sea lion glistened in the sun, wet from being in the ocean. Sea lions bark loudly and move on land using their large flippers. Their visible ear flaps distinguish them from fur seals. One of the first things we observed was that it was easy to get close to the wildlife. We were able to be very near and really observe them and get great photos. The orange Sally Lightfoot crab is rumored to have been named after a Caribbean dancer thanks to its agility and Lightfoot way of moving. Juveniles are pure black to blend with lava rock for protection for predators. The Sally Lightfoot crab has 10 legs and is able to run in 4 directions. One was eating from the side of a rock.
See you tomorrow.
Oye, Chucky, hay una señora que se le pone zapatos. Una señora. Are you dressed up?
Hola, hola.
Hola, hola.
The next morning on board Carina was overcast as we motored toward our next destination.
So just want to make it very interesting. But you note already maybe that the male goes on top and that the female is bigger than the male. That makes a lot of sense. I was saying that the male, the sea turtles, this type of sea turtle may weigh 300 pounds, but most of them are found in just a couple of 100 pounds. The biggest type is the leatherback, may weigh 1,000 pounds. The biggest type. Now, but this is the only one that nests here in Galapagos. This is the only resident sea turtle. But you know what? That the sea turtle, and so this is the beginning then of the mating season for sea turtles. Beginning of the mating season, that it coincides with the warm season in the Galapagos, because this is the end of the cold season, the beginning of the warm season. You know, we are talking about reptiles. There is a huge ray on this side. You see it there? A big ray on this side.
No.
Yes, right under this mangrove.
That is a type of a stingray. That is a marble ray. Look at marble ray. That is the name of that one. Marble ray. A diamond stingray.
Among our many cameras was a GoPro that photographs underwater. This was new equipment for us.
Yeah, and on its own. That's a nice one there. It's coming
I
this
pulled
way.
the camera out to write it to the memory card, and the turtle came past.
Oh, well, we got turtles.
This little one. Look at the little one. Look, he's coming right in front of your camera.
Some are darker gray than others.
I think we have to wait until midday, until the tide starts to come up again.
So tight.
You see, it's very shallow. We could now, right now, go through, but I don't think we're gonna be able to get out. But this is the spot, the way for the.
Oh, there's another shark coming.
One more shark is coming.
Big one, right here. Right there.
Yeah.
Watch your hands, my friend.
Here he is.
Oh, it went right by, so you should have gotten that one, yeah.
I'm sure. Van got a very good shot of it.
Oh, good.
So when are we going to have a show tonight?
Oh, there's
I
another
hope so.
one. There's another one.
Look, another one, another one.
Oh, nice one.
Another one.
Another one.
Running out of.
Well,
Look,
it's
another
just
one.
you.
My goodness.
Three of them.
This is. Oh my! One more right now. Look at this one. One more.
No, but if you cut yourself.
Pretty rag.
Oh, stinger.
Oh, the ray. Beautiful ray.
Yeah, a small one. Small one.
One more ray. One more ray. One more ray coming out.
Oh, this is lovely. Beautiful.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness!
Ah, you got it.
Ray shots.
Hopefully.
Tú eres del pasado, herencia fiel. Cuida la vida, hoy este es tu deber. Cosecha en el futuro maíz y miel. Busca el sol, renacer. Danza por la vida, amanecer. Libertad, paz y amor. Danza por la vida, amanecer.
We learned that a boat, often sighted nearby, belonged to the National Geographic Society. Stopping briefly on Baltra Island, we got some supplies. Baltra has a cruise port and the other airport in the Galápagos. We would fly from here at the end of our visit. Off the stern of our boat, we watched other groups returning in their pangas. A breeze was blowing. The weather here on the equator is not tropical. Temperatures range from 69 degrees to 84 degrees Fahrenheit during the dry season, from July to December.
No snorkeling, shopping, short panga ride, and then we go straight to the side of the island where we have our dry landing.
We first encountered two male frigate birds with their bright red gular sacs that they inflate to attract females during the breeding season. The wind was strong on North Seymour Island. That didn't prevent these boys from showing off their beautiful pouches. In fact, frigates can soar for weeks on wind currents. Seasonally monogamous frigate birds nest in colonies in low trees or on the ground. We walked across the island till we reached a bird rookery where frigates were nesting in some Palo Santo. It was an active colony with both completely black males and females and juveniles with white head, neck, and breast. A single egg is laid each breeding season. The duration of parental care is one of the longest of any bird species, and frigate birds are only able to breed every other year. These young ones look really hungry. One female showed her long, pointed wingspan, up to 7.5 feet. Then we came to a land iguana. It was yellow and it didn't move very fast. It was absolutely fascinating. Galapagos land iguanas can grow to over 3 feet in length. They can weigh up to 175 pounds, and they have a life expectancy of up to 60 years. Their spiky dorsal crest runs along the neck and back. Raised during territorial disputes, it makes the iguana appear larger. These herbivores bob their heads up and down to acknowledge another's presence. This iguana finally made it to a tree to feed. It stood on its hind legs to reach up for a green leaf. This was a big moment in this iguana's day. A large field of red sesavim, a kind of ice plant, held a blue-footed booby.
Blue-footed booby nest. But I was saying that the blue-footed boobies sometimes they lay 3 eggs when they have good conditions. In San Cristobal we could even see them like dancing. That was part of the courtship. But when they are this age, they maybe even the seabirds could take them to eat it.
Yes.
So that's why they have to protect them against some other birds.
The baby boobies were covered in pure white down. Parents carefully watching over, not concerned about the crowd close by. Its large blue feet play an important role in courtship. Females are thought to select males with brighter feet. Females also tend to be larger than males and have the darkest feet. A pair will often remain together for life. One takes a turn to incubate eggs while the other watches for predators. Some frigate birds did come on the attack just as we were leaving the area, proving that life can be hard for a family of boobies. We noticed another group walking on the island down the way from us. We learned that evening it was the group from the National Geographic boat. Going back to the pangas, we saw swallow-tailed gulls. They have bright pink feet. On the beach, we saw one lone sea lion and wondered if it was okay. It wasn't too bothered by our presence.
Hola.
Gran círculo. ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Vamos al planteo? Claro. ¿Me estás haciendo loco? Morning, 8:30, wet landing. Then we take a walk on this beautiful beach. Maybe 1 hour walking around the place, no more than 1.5 hours. And then we're gonna have time to swim off the beach.
Great.
Bring your legs over to the side of the panga also, both sides. You can also come through this place. Sit down on this side and slide in the wall. Yes. Sit down there. Again, that the marine iguanas are the only seagoing lizard maybe in the world. Maybe the only seagoing lizard. That one has a very special adaptation. They evolved from the green iguana. Okay? But here, they evolved as adaptation to this particular condition. Just imagine an iguana, green iguana coming here a million years ago. They landed here and say, oh my goodness, what is this? I better change, I better evolve.
Las Baches Beach, or Potholes Beach, has wonderful tide pools that drew this iguana. It's another fascinating variation and reminded us of the Japanese version, Godzilla. It survives exclusively on algae and seaweed. Its short, blunt snout and small, razor-sharp teeth help scrape algae off the rock. There were orange adult Sally Lightfoot crabs and black juveniles scampering on the rocks near the beach. Then the two oyster catchers we had seen earlier flew overhead. We were having a glorious day searching the tide pools. Susan called Linda over to share what she had noticed. Save the media, Linda yelled as her head came up from the tide pool. She was okay. However, her camera died. That afternoon, we had another opportunity to go snorkeling. Do we look like we know what we're doing?
On the tree to your right.
You will see some of them are coming this way. Small, medium, large ground finch, cactus, common cactus finch, and I can see 2 or 3 cactus. These are all cactus finch. Those are all cactus finch. Those 3, 4. They were all cactus finch. Yeah.
Charles Darwin came to the Galapagos and observed the remarkable diversity in beaks of some small birds. They belong to the tanager family and are not related to true finches. The birds are a group of about 26 different species that Darwin used to formulate his theory of evolution. We were hiking toward Dragon Hill on Santa Cruz Island to get a view near its top. We stayed on the well-worn path to reduce our impact on the fragile environment, hoping to have more new experiences on these captivating islands.
Y yo aquí enamorado junto a mi negra. Y yo aquí enamorado en Santa Cruz. Encadenado de la noche de sus ojos y su piel. Y bebiendo de sus besos de ternura pura miel. Canción de amor para ti. Morena de Santa Cruz. Canción de amor para ti. Morena de Santa Cruz. Oh, 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 Canción de amor para ti, morena de Santa Cruz. Canción de amor para ti, morena de Santa Cruz. Oh, 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 oh.
When we returned to our boat, we noticed another anchored nearby. It was named the Beagle, the same as Darwin's boat from his expedition. This was our final night on the Carina. The table was set for our farewell dinner. Luis briefed us about our next exciting day's activities.
The Darwin Research Station, a big project for reproduction in captivity, the giant tortoises. We have giant tortoises from most of the islands in the Galápagos. We have been doing this maybe for the last 35 years in the Galápagos. This population has been drastically reduced. Maybe now the total population is about 30,000. The last one to be extinct was very recent, this year. That was Lonesome George. Lonesome George was from one of the islands in Galápagos, and he was the last survivor from one of the islands in Galápagos. But what we are going to see tomorrow, those are the famous land tortoises, giant tortoises. This is the chance to see the real giant, 700 pounds. We can also see maybe some new different species of maybe Darwin finches.
It was slightly overcast as we awoke and looked from our boat to the east. We were in Puerto Ayora, the capital of Santa Cruz Island. We said goodbye to our Carina crew and went directly to the Charles Darwin Research Station that was in town. Charles Darwin was 22 when he left England on the HMS Beagle. There's a replica of her today in Patagonia.
Then the Darwin Research Station is a non-profit, non-governmental agency working for the conservation of the islands. Actually, this Darwin Research Station is the operative arm of the Darwin Foundation that was founded just to work for the conservation of the island. Then, the last maybe 35 years or more than 35 years, National Park and Darwin Research Station, they both have been working together for the conservation of the islands. developing different projects, different programs for the conservation of the islands, my friend. We can mention hundreds of projects to protect the different type of endangered species in the Galápagos, or projects to monitor different type of animals. It's 100 projects maybe in the Galápagos, okay? Now, but the only places open to the visitors in the Darwin Research Station are the places where we can see the giant tortoises in captivity then. You just imagine that the population was maybe over 500,000, and now it's only 30,000 giant tortoises. But about 10,000 of those 30,000 were reproduced here in captivity. Remember, we have been doing this for the last 35 years, maybe more than that. Reproduction in captivity. And remember that the giant tortoises, they reach sexual maturity between 25 or 30 years old. Yeah, to wait a long time. And they can reproduce maybe until they die. So we have here them baby giant tortoises from different islands, and we keep them in here for the first couple of years. And after that we put them outside here all together in this place. But they all have a number, a mark on top to identify the different subspecies, because when we talk about giant tortoises, then we talk about different subspecies of giant tortoises. So outside here you see them all together, different sizes, different age, from different subspecies also. No, we keep them here maybe 2, sometimes even 3 or 4 more years. And when they are over 4 or 5 years, they are going to be released to the different islands. They are going to be repatriated to different islands, to the original islands. And we also put a microchip on them to monitor them, to see how many of them can survive.
There was a plaque for Lonesome George. His species went extinct when he died earlier in the year. We walked down a road and then stopped at some finches near a cactus. Once again, Luis called them closer to us. Just like Darwin, we were fascinated by these tiny birds that he used to inform our understanding of evolution.
Look, this is something different. Here we go, look at this one here, look at this one here. No, this one here, look at this one here. Yeah? Yeah, that is the vegetarian fish. This one here. Yeah.
We then continued our walk, passing a huge iguana laying beside the road. Then an enormous mess of iguanas. Yes, that's what you call a large group of them, a mess.
Isla Santa Cruz, yo te canto de lo más profundo del alma, bello paraíso encantado, vivido de amor. De amor para Santa Cruz, perla escondida en el mar, canto de sirena.
At the fish market in town, we watched as frigate birds dove to grab scraps from the fish cleaning counter. The workers were apparently quite used to these invaders, as they ignored them while they worked on cleaning their fish. Once again, we stood fascinated as we watched the fish that we had seen swimming under the mangrove forest, and a huge yellowfin tuna being skillfully skinned. We wondered if we'd be dining on this fresh catch later in the day. When we walked around the counter, we found a sea lion waiting for some scraps. Once again, the workers weren't annoyed by the wildlife. After our visit to the seafood market, we had free time to explore the town further. Luis had told us about a silver shop that sold sea turtle jewelry. We went to find it.
Un canto de amor para Santa Cruz, perla escondida en el mar, canto de sirena, un canto de amor para Santa Cruz, joya enquistada en el mar, playa, sol y arena, un canto de amor para Santa Cruz, perla escondida en el mar, canto de sirena, un canto de amor.
We were driven out of town and turned at a sign directing us to a lava tunnel. Also known as a lava tube, it's a type of cave that forms when super hot magma cools to create a hard, thick crust around still flowing lava. When the supply stops, the crust remains as an empty tube. This cave was formed during the volcanic eruption that created Santa Cruz Island.
Hola. Hola. Very welcome to the lava channel. This is about, I guess, 400 meters long, and in some places could be even 100 feet diameter. You know this one when the big lava flow is flowing maybe down here. And again, the outside, let's say that this is the lava flow. In the outside, in contact with air, cools off faster. But the inside that is still very hot keeps flowing, leaving behind the lava tunnel. And eventually we have more lava flowing the same way, the same place, make the tunnel even bigger than that. We can see this by seeing, look at this high, maybe the lava was flowing, but this, the one more lava, the new lava flow was flowing in the same direction, causing a big erosion on the previous lava tunnel already formed from the previous volcanic eruption.
We enjoyed exploring the lava tube and then moved on and began to see wild giant tortoises.
Really? Huge one on the right hand side.
Yeah, where is that? There's one there after that on the right hand side.
Oh, that's a rock. That's a rock.
What's his age?
That's a rock.
Big one, that is a female. Smooth shell, that is a big male. Please, let me tell you something before we get closer to them. In most cases, the giant tortoises, if you approach them from the front, they are very shy and they immediately are going to retract into the shell.
Okay.
If you want to get a nice picture of them, you and the giant tortoise, the best way to do this, if you approach them from the back, and maybe somebody can walk all the way around and take a picture from the front. But if you approach them from the front, they are gonna retract into the shell. Most of them do this. Okay?
Wow! We walked through a field of several wild giant tortoises, one of the main reasons we come to the Galápagos. We were thrilled. We had a great opportunity to get up close and photograph these amazing wild creatures. On the islands with humid highlands, the tortoises are larger, with domed shells and short necks. On islands with mostly dry lowlands, like where we were, the tortoises are smaller, with saddleback shells and long necks. Charles Darwin's observations of these differences during his voyage on the Beagle also contributed to the development of his theory of evolution.
At different times of the year also they move to different places. They migrate a little bit from the lower to the higher part of the island. At this time of the year they can stay here, but maybe, well, this is the beginning of the warm season, that's why they can live higher. During the warm season, because they can stay here in the warm season, because if they move higher, that is going to be cooler. You see, the migration also depends on the weather. At this time of the year, that is the beginning of the warm season, they move a little bit higher because it's a little bit cooler. But during the cold season, they go lower to the lower part of the island because, you know, it is warmer. Again, those are reptiles, cold-blooded reptiles. They need, you know, to regulate the body temperature by meaning behaviors then. But I was saying, this is the perfect time of the year and this is the perfect place to see them in the wild. But anyway, remember, 3,000 of them, which are spread over an area of about maybe 150 square kilometers in area on the south side of Santa Cruz Island then.
So why is there such a concentration here in this spot?
Water ponds.
Water.
Where they drink water and they cool off a little bit.
We followed Luis through the field until we came to a nearby pond. There was a lone tortoise enjoying the cool water. We remained still to capture the moment. The Spanish word for tortoise is Galápago, and they arrived on these islands about 3 million years ago. Darwin took 3 giant land tortoises from the Galapagos in 1836. They were a sensation when he arrived in England. As we watched them, we were moved and felt fortunate to have seen these magnificent wild creatures.
That could be 90 to 100 years old, but this is still very young. You know, remember that they could survive for over a couple of hundred years, but you know what? We don't have any record of a living giant tortoises in the Galapagos. The only record we have from a living giant tortoise is from the Galapagos, are from those giant tortoises living in the zoo in Sydney, Australia. Seems to be at the beginning of the 1800s, somebody took those giant tortoises as a gift for a queen from this place in those years. And it's still alive, they still have them there. There were 3, but one of them already passed away when he was about 178 years old. But we still have 2 more in this place, Sydney, Australia. Maybe they are over 200 years old. That is the only record we have from a living giant tortoise. I know that this is very hard for you to lift up all this heavy body, but then I'm gonna move away and you stay there for a couple of seconds to take them a picture, you alone. Now pictures, without me.
Slowly going down. Very amazing.
That was quite a performance.
Well, that was a command performance.
Yeah. Excellent.
Bravo.
Bravo.
Bravo, Mr. Turtle.
Baila sin parar, yo le canto al sol, al cielo y al mar. Isla Santa Cruz, brillas con tu luz, de la natural, de la humanidad. Este es mi sol, a Santa Cruz, canto de amor del corazón. Este es mi son, a Santa Cruz, canto de amor del corazón.
than moonshine. Really, look at me. I can't even dance.
are my moonshine, my only moonshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. If you just know, dear, how much I love you, please don't take my moonshine away.